What's going on, everyone? So I'm back, and first and foremost, everybody that has reached out and just making sure that I'm okay and whatnot, appreciate it. This video, we're going to be talking about Haltech. I didn't purposely wear my Haltech sweater just because we're talking about Haltech, but I have it on. Want to mention something really quick outside of cars, because it's not really discussed a lot in this industry of what we do, and it's kind of like a male ego thing, I think. I've been gone because we've been so busy with work. We have so much stuff going on. That's always the first priority. One thing I did want to mention, so we just passed Easter. People that know me, I lost my father, I think it was about 5 years ago on Easter. I say I think because I try to forget that day. It's not something that I like to remember. One thing I will mention is if you're struggling, and I see all these posts that people just copy and paste the same stuff, you know, if you're struggling, reach out for help and whatever, yada, yada, yada. One of the best things I've ever done was to go seek help and talk to a therapist about the challenges that I face, specifically after losing my father and how we lost him suddenly. With that being said, we're going to get right into this video, but I will say this for anybody that's watching this, even years to come and whatnot. If you're local, I will gladly reach out to me and I can give you my therapist info, because she's amazing, awesome, helped me through a lot of stuff. If you're not local, it doesn't matter either way. If you're watching this and maybe you can relate or something like this, or hey, you know, I'm glad you brought it up, or you know, it doesn't get discussed a lot, you can comment down below. You can shoot me a personal email as well. It's rcautoworks@gmail.com. You know, I can keep everything confidential. You know, it's one of those things that I'm just mentioning it right here in this video, and you know, I took some time off too because Easter's around Easter, it's a trigger event for me. So on top of being busy, of course, I got to make sure I'm fine, and I do have a good support system. So, but going back, if anybody's watching this ever, you know, as long as I'm still alive, reach out to me directly, rcautoworks@gmail.com. If you're struggling with anything, I don't care. You don't have to, you know, give me your name, info. I don't care about that. And this has nothing to do with automotive stuff. Has nothing to do with that. So that's like on a personal level. 2 minutes into the video, let's go outside. We got two cars that I'm going to discuss in this video. The one car is a full-out race car, as you're going to see. It is set up on Haltech, but it was set up by an amateur. We're going to get into that a little bit. And then another car, which we've been getting a lot of questions about because we do so much Haltech here. We're not only tune, but we do installs, is how hard is it to switch over to NSP? And that's the new software that Haltech came out with, I don't even know, at least probably 5 months ago or so. So let's get into it. Here's the first car that we're going to be discussing and talking about. As I said, it is a Volkswagen. So quick little background, this is a father and son team. Called us, think they were having issues getting it set up. You know, the funny thing is, when this car was getting unloaded off the trailer and I'm inside, I can hear the car, of course, because it is loud. And I said, car doesn't sound right. And when the guy walked in, I said, man, is something up with the car? Something doesn't sound right. It almost sounds like it's misfiring. And, you know, he said, the plugs are probably fouled out. It's running super rich, you know, this, and that. And as I popped the hood, look what I noticed. So we're going to connect this thing back up, of course. And, you know, the crazy thing is, or whatever you want to say, I was inside. Just something that, and I was either talking to a customer or answering emails. It's just something that when you've been doing this for so long, your ear can hear stuff like that. It's crazy. You know. So we're gonna get that taken care of. Show you guys the inside really quick before I hop in. The doors do open. You do have to climb over the roll cage setup. Got a lot of stuff going on in here. Like I said, this is a full-out race car. It is racing season. And this is what we're here for. We're here to support you racers. We also offer trackside support as well. And if you just let us know days that you're racing ahead of time, we want to come out and just watch you have fun, because ultimately that's what it's all about. You know, and it's kind of cool seeing these things on the track, and more so the smile on your face is when you actually get out of the car and you're done with the race. And yeah, you know, some races are not, the end results are not so good, but you got to remember at the end of the day, this is what it's all about. You know, we do this, I do this because I enjoy seeing people enjoy the sport. I enjoy people seeing their car. And, you know, we're guys, you know, he said stuff is rough around the edges, and that's fine. I'm going to give him some tips and suggestions. You know, I did a video on wiring. You know, some of these connections, you know, they just worry me. They can loosen up very easily. And if you're at a track, if you're during a, you know, a track event and during a lap, one of these comes apart, very easily cost you the race. And, you know, so I'll give him some tips. I'll give him some pointers on that. To make, you know, this is a homemade type build, I believe. Like I said, father and son team, which is what it's all about. I'd give anything in the world to have my father back. And you know, I don't want to make this one of those sad videos, but you know, I'll say this: if you guys you know, got your parents or somebody you're super close to, don't take that time for granted. It could be wiped away instantly. And you know, it sounds corny, you know, they, you know, say don't take life for granted or whatever, and I mean, it's true. And if you've been through stuff like that, then you know all about that. And you know, so going back, we got this set up. So I'm gonna hop in it really quick. I'm gonna show you guys the tune. This one's on NSP already, so I don't have to convert it. I'm gonna hook up this coil here. And I'll be right back, guys and girls. So we're inside the car right now, and I have his tune pulled up, and this is just a fuel map. It is definitely crazy. I'm gonna overhaul everything. I'm gonna look at everything too to make sure everything looks like how it should. There's a couple little things when I had the car running earlier. These gauges were jumping around, which could be a sign of something as simple as like a, you know, a ground maybe. So as I progress into this, if it's something that seems like it's getting worse, or I have other issues more so, I was on the diagnostic tab on Haltech, and I was seeing every now and then some trigger errors. So that's something too that I'm going to be looking into. And this is one thing too, as when he picks up the vehicle, I'm going to show him some stuff in NSP that he is, you know, interested in, and it's something that I offer. You know, not only trackside support and support even when the car's out of here, but I try to teach people what I have learned over the years that's going to help them. Of course, I can't be at every track event, and of course, I can't be ready remotely for every, you know, track event. We have a guy that's doing a track event this weekend, and you know, I have some personal stuff coming up. So if I can pass that along to my customers, my clients, well, of course, that's what I want to do. You know, I got into this 23 years ago, and it was all about helping your fellow man or woman, and that's what it's been about. It's not, you know, some people get thrown off when I say, hey, let me rephrase that. And this guy also told me that he wants to make sure partial throttle is good, which all my tunes, I focus heavily on partial throttle. Doesn't matter the car, but he offered to pay a little bit more so I could focus on that, and that comes with the territory. That's part of my job. I don't need more money to do my job. And in the same sense too, I've had people that will say, hey, can you sit down with me for like 20 minutes and show me this stuff and explain a little bit? I'll pay you more. I don't charge for that stuff. You know, that's just how I am. You know, if I can sit here and help you for 20 minutes after you've come here and given me your business, that's what I'm going to do. I offer the continued support. It's all about looking to build a relationship. So I'm going to get this map taken care of. Give me 1 second. So quick and easy, I imported another fuel map that I had. This is it makes my life that much easier. I'm gonna get started on this, but of course I'm gonna go through everything else, which is gonna take some time. I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna start this thing up. I'm gonna see how it wants to run, especially now since we have that plug, that cylinder plugged back in. So at this point, I had to, number one, I had to get out of the sun. It is pretty hot when you're just sitting in the sun baking. Computer was getting hot, so was my phone. What you could see in the second video is I made some corrections. He had some stuff that was in the back half that was turned on or off, and now you can see what's happening is it's losing trigger sync. So we're gonna have to figure out why it's losing that. He did tell me that he's running like a custom wheel setup for the trigger. That is what I believe is going on. That is going to take some time to actually diagnose. So I'm going to shoot him a call. I'm going to give him an update, let him know what's going on. Hopefully I can solve and figure out why it's doing it fairly quickly, and go from there. That portion, so just so you guys understand too, that has really nothing to do with the dyno tune. Before a car comes here, unless it's 100% clear that, hey, it's not set up, it's not running, everything needs to be done, we're always under the impression that a car is running decent enough where, yes, if the air fields need to be tweaked, and that's what he thought originally needed to be, which, yes, there was some room for tweaking. There was a lot of room for tweaking. But this instance now, we're going to have to troubleshoot why this is happening. This is not part of the tune. And which is fine. He doesn't know. He's not a tuner. That's perfectly understandable. We're going to call him, we going to explain what's going on. He's going to understand, because he knows he had to get in there and mess with the trigger wheel himself. And we're going to figure out what needs to happen and go from there. Okay, so just to give you a little update, and some things are a little bit out of order in these videos. I try to take out my phone as much as possible, just so you guys can capture and whatnot. I just spoke to the customer. I wanted to talk to him about the TDC offset that was set prior to coming in here, and I wanted to see how good he felt. Is it solid? And he said straight up, like, hey, yeah, that it might not be 100%. So we're going to check that. It's going to be the first basic thing. I wanted to talk to the customer, kind of just feel him out. If he told me, hey, this thing's 100%, maybe I probably would still check, but it's good to me, for me at least, how I operate. I like to talk to my customers, and I also like to update them, which I will say, as I'm sitting in the office/showroom area, he was pleasantly surprised. And one of the things he said was, keeping him updated, and that's what we do. We try to do it every project here. If some people want updates more than we update them, we can. But he said, it's a pleasant surprise to get that service, and that's what we offer. It doesn't matter if it's a phone call by me or anybody else. We try to keep everybody in the loop. We try to include pictures, videos if we can, as you're seeing it right now. And I told him before I leave, at the very least, I'm going to call him with an update. We'll see what we find. I'm going to get it inside now, because not only is it hot, but it's going to be very hard to see a timing mark with the sun out there. So let me get it in. Let me see what we're going with. And, hey, if it's something as simple as TDC offset not being where it should be, and it fixes the problem, it's going to be great. Let's see. Let's go. So I messed around with the settings a little bit. It's still not happy. At this point, it's going to involve some more diagnostic time, which we'll get into later. I'm going to call the customer, have him send me all the info that he has on that setup, so I have it all in front of me. Now we're going to go into the next car, which is going to be a Miata. I'll be right back. So this Miata I actually featured about, I don't know, a year ago, maybe a little less. I can put the link down below. This one's an awesome one too. Watch the first video. I can't even kind of describe it, but another guy that's family oriented, and when this car was on the dyno, his whole family actually showed up, and that was awesome. So everything on this car, the customer has done himself. This car originally, when it came in a while back, it was on another ECU that he was having, it wouldn't even start. and we tried to roll everything out that we could, and we said, hey man, think that could possibly something up with the ECU. Our recommendation is to put it on Haltech. I remember either he emailed me or called me, and I remember he said he put it on Haltech, and the thing like pretty much fired right up. So really nice setup, really clean. I give him a lot of props because, well, he explained to me why he's into cars and him growing up, which, you know, as I said, go watch the other video. It'll be down below. I give him props for putting everything together himself, being very meticulous with not only the setup, but also talking to me about certain things, and you know, hey, it not just gonna do this, and that. So he actually does his research, his homework, and that's why this setup made the power that it made last time. So hats off to him. I'm sure he'll be watching this. Very well put together setup. And it is back in here because it is getting the NSP switch over, which I'm going to show you guys here in a second. And there's a couple other things he needs me to do. So we'll get it back on the dyno. And if you catch this car at the track, he's actually a brand ambassador for us. So he usually will have some stuff to give away. Stickers, business cards, maybe some free shirt, free hat every now and then. So make sure you stop by and say hello. And like I said, take some time out and watch the other video down below that I linked you. Let me go grab my laptop. I'm going to show you how simple it is to put it on NSP. So we got ESP open. And the first thing you have to do is clean the dust off your screen if you're doing a video. Second thing you have to do is you're going to click on Tools, and you're going to see the Upgrade ECU to 2.453 release or later. Can't do that just yet. I'm going to have to upgrade the firmware so I can get it brought up, and then I'll be able to upgrade it to NSP. Let me do that first. So now we have the firmware updated, and you can see that I can now click to upgrade to NSP. It says there was a problem. So we'll just close that. If I can find them. There you go. There's the mouse. Well. Oh, there you go. There you go. It's that simple. Now, it's going to do its thing. Everything that it needs to do. While it's doing that, well, hold on one second. I jumped the gun. You can see that it's doing everything that it needs to do. It will tell you at the very end if it was successful or do its thing. And that's it. Now, here's the thing. When it switches over, you have to make sure everything is correct. And that's where there's always going to be a couple issues here and there that need to be tweaked out. Early on the NSP switchover, there was, of course, more problems, a little bit more glitchy. They've updated the firmware to keep on fixing issues that they find, which is always nice. It's always good to have a company like that always support the product, not just, you know, here's a firmware upgrade and just not ever correct it. So I'm going to let this do its thing, and I will be right back as I'm running a little bit low on storage space. And as you can see, successfully upgraded the firmware of the Elite ECU to work with this software. So that is it. Now I have to go through everything, make sure everything looks good. This one's going back on the dyno, so if anything needs to be tweaked anyways, it will be tweaked. And that completes the conversion to NSP. That's simple. It really is. It's just everything else that you have to double check. My recommendation, and yes, NSP is a lot better than ESP, but if you have no reason to upgrade it, everything is fine in your setup, you don't need to use any of the extra features that NSP has, then you don't have to upgrade. But if you're looking to get on the latest software, maybe do some upgrades, have some more tools at your disposal, then upgrade. NSP is a very nice software. It's very user friendly, and everybody that I've talked to loves it. So that's it. So that's it, guys. Quick, simple video. I just wanted to more so say hello to everybody that messaged me, wondering where I was at. I'm going to try to keep them coming, but as I said before in my videos, it really just comes down to how busy we are in the shop. This is race season, so we get really, really busy. As for the Volkswagen goes, we'll figure it out. We always do. Miata, you saw, converted to NSP. And that's about it. You guys got questions, comments, you're looking to get set up on something, you're looking to get set up on Haltech, we can help you out. We can get you set up correctly so you're buying the right stuff. And if you're looking, of course, for a tune, we do dyno tuning and we do remote tuning as well. So that's it. Enjoy the rest of your day.